What is up, everyone? It has certainly been a while, but Houston Sports Spotlight back here with another Texans video. Yes, this one will be recapping, honestly, the Texans Week 1, preseason hype around the Texans, and just some of the disappointments I had. So let's get right into it. Texans played the Colts today, 9-11, tied 2020. This was certainly an interesting one to watch as a fan, man. Texans came out slow. That's not shocking, but played really good football in the second and third quarters, jumped out to a 20-3 lead, and in my heart, I knew this game was not over and it was going to get interesting really quickly. So, in Texans fashion, they blew a 17-point lead in the final 12 minutes of the fourth quarter. That is where the 2020 game would come from. If you watch the game, the Texans got really lucky in overtime, and Rodrigo Blankenship missed a field goal, where then one of the stupidest coaching decisions I think I've ever seen has came up and cost the Texans a game, or technically could have saved the Colts the game, either way you want to look at it. So let's just get into it. So, Texans, first drive, first down, don't do much after that. Kind of Texans, not typical Texans fashion. The motion was good, the offense was good, they just got stalled, some good plays by the Colts, some missed throws by Davis Mills, some drops, whatever. Week 1, game 1, shit's going to happen. First quarter, pretty much shit, not much happened. Really neither side. Colts would end the first quarter with a field goal lead. Texans would bounce back and take a 10-3 lead into halftime. We saw O.J. Howard get his first career reception and touchdown as a Texan. Texans came out of the half, drove down, got 3 points, pushed the lead to 13-3. Defense played great, which they did most of the game up until the fourth quarter. Texans got the ball back, drove down, touchdown. Texans would enter the fourth quarter with a 20-3 lead, and this is when shit got interesting knowing the Texans. The Texans would not only blow the lead, but they would blow it in epic fashion. The Texans let the Colts drive right down the field with little no resistance, get a field goal. Petrie and Stingley made some incredible plays, especially for rookies in the end zone, to hold the Colts to a field goal. 20-6, game still looks like it's in pretty good control. This is where most teams would try to go get another score. Not the Houston Texans. Instead, this great play calling they had been doing, where they had all this motion and looked good. They were bringing Driscoll in, having him run every once in a while, yada, 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 do all this really cool stuff. What do the Texans do? They go conservative, run, pass, look like dog shit, let the Colts back into the game. But ultimately, on this first drive, the Texans were driving into Colts territory. I think it was like 4th and 3 on the 41 or the 40 or the 39, somewhere around there. Texans get to the line, look like they're going to go for it. What do the Texans do? False start, back them up. Now, I was talking to some people during the game, and I don't think we should have ever sent the offense out there. You have Kaimi Fairbairn, who, don't get me wrong, is a fucking asshole and misses a lot of dumb kicks, but the dude's got a leg. He made a 61-yarder last year versus Seattle. I don't see any reason why you can't give him a chance to go out there and cook a boot. 57, 58-yard field goal, don't get me wrong. It's a long shot, and it would have given the Colts the ball back in good field position. But, I think you got to trust your kicker, especially week 1. You're at home versus a good Colts team. Sure, they're missing Shaq Leonard, but you got to show them, and you got to show the fans, really, that you're there to win football games. And instead of kicking this field goal, they, like I said, false start, back them up, punt, and, you're going to say, okay, well, it was probably a good idea, pin them back, make them work for it. But the Colts proceeded to then go down the field in about 4 minutes, get a touchdown. The defense couldn't stop shit in a toilet. It was bad. So, 2010, game is still definitely manageable. I think there's about 8-9 minutes left at this point. Texans run the ball, don't do anything. Davis Mills drops back. Tunsil gets just absolutely obliterated on the edge by, I think, a dude who got signed out of a 3-year-old school the other day. Absolutely obliterates him. Strip sack. Colts get the ball back. 3 plays later, they're in the end zone. Now it's 2017. So, Texans gotta make first downs, chew clock, gotta score, really. That's what you really gotta do. So what did they fail to do? Get more than one first down, give Matt Ryan the ball back with 4.5 minutes, and the Texans didn't even force a third down that drive where Matt Ryan would take his team down the field and kick a field goal to tie the game. Okay, so, 2.5 some minutes, something around there, 2.5 minutes left in the game. Rodrigo Blankenship was just a fucking idiot all day. Dude kicks the ball out of bounds. Texans get the ball in the 40 with, 2 minutes and change left and 2 or 3 times. I think they had all 3 timeouts, so 3 timeouts. And what the fuck do the Texans do? They managed to go 3 and out and give the ball back to the Colts immediately. Now, luckily, defense held up. X, Y, and Z happened. We go to overtime. Okay, so we're in overtime. God, this is another really beautiful thing. We're in overtime. Rodrigo Blankenship again. Fucking idiot. This little glasses sped motherfucker kicks it out of bounds again. Texans get the ball on the 40. Again, this is back-to-back drives where they could go down and win the game. 40-yard. That's where they started, on the 40-yard line twice. Davis Mills gets sacked. Incompletion. We kick immediately. Give the ball back to Matt Ryan, who drives down the field. And, Rodrigo Blankenship has a 42-yarder to win the game. So what does this terrorist straight out of ISIS do? This dude misses a field goal. And you're thinking, why'd you call him a terrorist? He gave the Texans another chance to win the game. I call him a terrorist because he gave me fucking hope. If he just kicked it through the uprights, I could go, classic Texans, we lost. But no, here's my dumbass thinking, man, we have a chance to not blow this game again. The Colts are giving us so many fucking chances. Any good team would have capitalized, but that's the issue. The Texans aren't a good team. So, what happens? I just got to stop myself before I say some bad things. What happens? Texans run a few plays, chew a little more clock, and here's the absolute dime bag of the game. There's 20 seconds left, 4th and 3. Your team that is projected to win 4.5 games, over under for your bettors. What do? Your 50-yard line, 4th and 3. You could punt, go for the tie, or you could roll the dice, show the world the Houston Texans aren't fucking afraid of big boy decisions, and go for it. And there's 2 sides of the sword. You could go for it, get it, give yourself a chance to win a game, or a team projected to have the number 1 overall pick could turn the ball over on downs and potentially lose the game. Keep in mind, 25 seconds left in the game. So naturally, the Texans decided to punt the ball away and tie. So, these 2 major decisions, the field goal, the false start, which took us out of field goal range where they punted. I don't think they would have kicked the field goal anyway. And this decision to punt it just show me the Texans aren't dedicated to winning. And you go, okay, so maybe they're trying to tank. A tie doesn't fucking help you tank. That just hurts our draft chances. A tie was literally a lose-lose situation for the Texans. If we win, great, we win. Davis Mills might not have looked the best at parts, but he gets a good win versus a good Colts team. If we lose, we have a better chance at getting a better seed. There was just no fucking point in tying the game. But, okay, we tied. Let's just go ahead and talk about a few of the other really great things I saw today from the Texans. First of all, we'll talk about the preseason hype that I mentioned earlier. Preseason hype was mainly surrounding about this great offense from Pep and how great Dameon Pierce looked. Rex Burkhead is literally a spawn of Satan every time he runs the ball. When he runs the ball, I want to cut my dick off and feed it to my dog. I just can't understand for the life of me, why is he getting starter snaps? The dude is old as a dinosaur. He doesn't have that pop in him. He just doesn't do shit for this team. We have a 21-year-old bowling ball is what he was called, who's a hard runner, can get good yards, and has speed. Why the fuck is he not getting majority of the snaps? We're a young team with nothing to lose. Even if you wanted to go with that whole route with, we're trying to contend, yada, 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 Rex Burkhead isn't a contending running back. Dameon Pierce is, at least from what we've seen from him, the preseason tramp. Granted, that isn't much, but all the hype surrounding around him, you think he'd be getting most of the snaps, but he's not. I just don't understand the, I guess you could say, the philosophy behind it. We know Rex Burkhead is a decent running back. He's not complete dog shit. I'd like to see him cut, but not complete dog shit. He's decent, good running back too. But there's no reason for him to be starting over Dameon Pierce. Okay, so let's move on to the next point. Pep Hamilton. The things the offense were doing the first 3 quarters had me impressed. All the motion we were seeing, this was the talk of the town we were talking about in preseason. We kept hearing that, he's calling conservatively in preseason, doesn't want to show, yada, yada, yada. And we were proven right. They were doing absolutely that. He opened the playbook. Shit was exciting for the first 3 quarters. The minute the fourth quarter hit, it shut off. It looked like the Texans that we've known and loved for the last 3 years. Loved his sarcasm, by the way. He went to this conservative play calling. We couldn't do anything. We didn't get any points, and we choked another big lead in the fourth quarter at home. And you can make all the excuses you want to. Texans are young, they're inexperienced, yada yada yada. But I don't give a fuck. We've had 3 different coaching regimes the last 3-4 years. We've had Bob, Cully, and now Lovie Smith. And the only thing that I noticed today, or the only major thing, is that some things don't fucking change. We play good for 3 quarters, we choke in the fourth. 3 different coaches, 3 different years, same result. That's a fucking problem. It's just, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, and that's what the Texans are stuck doing. It's fucking sad to say, but it's the truth. I mean, we play a really good Denver team next week, and we're gonna get fucking smacked. I mean, Denver's better in every way, and we have to go on the road. And it's like, well, you can make the argument, Denver isn't much better than the Colts. They're better, and we have a chance. But I just think we'll see too much of the fourth quarter Texans this week. And, the Texans play, that brings me into my final point. I know I've kind of repeated myself, ranted, gone off track here and there. But the big question mark of this season is Davis Mills. And there is a lot of controversy behind this guy. And I am a pretty big Mills supporter. I'm not overreacting to one game. The dude's a sophomore, first game of his sophomore year against a good Colts team. There's no, we need to get rid of Mills, trade for Jimmy G. None of that bullshit. But the areas we need to see Mills take a pretty big step in my opinion, to see him improve is 3 main things. Those 3 things are knowing when to get the football away / pocket presence, short pass accuracy, and knowing when to take the check down. And what do I mean by that? Davis Mills, a lot of the time, and this isn't just a Davis Mills thing. A lot of rookies do it. A lot of sophomore quarterbacks do it. It's just one of those things that honestly has to be taught for the quarterback position, I guess, at the major league level, NFL level, whatever. He stands in there, pressure will come, and he oftentimes refuses to get rid of the football and take sacks, and it's a drive killer. It really does happen too much. And don't get me wrong, he had a pretty clean pocket a lot of the day, but there was a few moments, especially at the end of the game and the overtime, that it hurt us bad. Second point, the short passer accuracy. Davis Mills, honestly, when we go downfield, sometimes he'll short pass it, like he'll underthrow the receiver a little bit, but he's on target a pretty good amount of the time when he does go downfield. However, a lot of the time when we're doing short, easy throws, out to the flat, maybe a slant, maybe a 15, 10-yard post, he sometimes has trouble with those passes. And that's kind of worrying for a quarterback. You think it'd be flipped. You think he'd have trouble downfield, not close to him, but it is. And hopefully we are able to see improvement with that. And, I think that'll improve with more when he's more comfortable with his receivers, more comfortable with the playbook, I guess. Just hopefully as he begins to get more comfortable in this offense, hopefully that grows. The final thing that we really need to see him do is the checkdowns. Davis Mills, a lot of the time, likes to go for it all. I don't mean touchdowns, but I mean first downs. A lot of the times, and we saw it today, rather than taking the first down, dumping it off to good old Rex Burkhead, which would have given you a few yards, often, 6 to 8, he decides to go for a first down, which then either gets us in second and third or long, or a lot of the times resulted in a punt. So, it's 3 main things. Don't get me wrong, there's tons of other little things we can tweak. I am by no means giving up on Davis Mills already. I think he's got potential, but I think if he has a shit second year, it's going to be really tough for him to still have this starting job going into his 3rd year in the NFL. So this was kind of a longer video. So, sometimes I got sidetracked. Sorry, it's late at night. I'm tired. But go Texans. Hopefully everyone's doing good, and I'll probably see y'all again soon. Peace.